Creative Brain Candy, by creators for creators.
I'm Winston Zeddemore, Your Honor. Look, I've only been with the company for a couple of weeks, but I gotta tell you, these things are real. Since I joined these men, I have seen shit that'll turn you white.
Well, you could believe Mr. Pecker.
My name is Peck.
Or you could accept the fact that this city is headed for a disaster of biblical proportion.
What do you mean, biblical?
What he means is Old Testament, Mr.
Yes.
Mayor. Real wrath of God type stuff.
Exactly.
Fire and brimstone coming down from the skies. Rivers and seas boiling.
40 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes.
The dead rising from the grave.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Enough! I get the point.
What if you're wrong?
If I'm wrong, nothing happens. We go to jail, peacefully, quietly. We'll enjoy it. But if I'm right, and we can stop this thing, Lenny, you will have saved the lives of millions of registered voters.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Smoking and Drinking in Space. This is a sci-fi podcast from a couple guys who think they know sci-fi. And this week, we review the film that became a pop culture icon and was the highest grossing comedy until a movie about awful parents abandoning their child to go on a European vacation knocked it from the throne. It's 1984's Ghostbusters. But first, he's the ghost hunter with all the gadgets who wants to drill a hole through his skull to my skeptic skirt chaser who stopped him because I didn't want to clean up the mess. It's James. How are you doing, James?
I'm doing pretty well, Venkman.
And he's the guy whose idea of confronting a ghost for the first time is to rush it, much like how he approached the first girl he liked. It's Rob. How are you doing, Rob?
Well, I'm glad that was that, because I was prepared to respond by saying it's a little soiree with my clients.
Yeah,
because I was
yeah, you do fit that character a little better, don't you?
Fully prepared to get thrown under the bus as Rick Moranis.
Yeah, you are Louis Tully. Like, if we're gonna, like, I get it. The three of us, we're the Ghostbusters. Yeah, it's a good analogy. Yeah. Unfortunately, Rob's not smart enough, funny enough, or good looking enough to be any of the three Ghostbusters. So yeah, he definitely 100% fits into the Louis Tully persona. And I'm guessing Louis Tully's mom was fucking hot.
James, you got any news about CBC this week?
Actually, as a matter of fact, I do. For those of you interested that are invested in Creative Brain Candy, we are going to tease right now a brand new podcast. That's right. A brand new podcast is coming to Creative Brain Candy. And guess what? It's not done by anybody on the network, unlike other networks. So look forward to that. I promise you, it's going to be wild. See what I did there? Nobody else does, but you two did. It's going to be wild.
Got it. Yeah, I got you. I got it.
Yeah, nobody cares. It's fine. Also, there's going to be another podcast. If Rick Moranis ever gets his shit together. So look forward to that in 2022.
How did we sign Rick Moranis?
Well, I don't know, Louis. I don't think we did. I think people will be able to read into that exactly what I'm throwing down. But it will be a spinoff of probably one of the more popular podcasts on Creative Brain Candy.
Maybe
not. Might have to do with some powered individuals. I don't know. I can't speak to it, Jason. I can't speak to it. But
yeah, you're under an NDA. Just you can't talk about it.
I can't talk about it. But you can check out all the great podcasts, the family of podcasts we have here on Creative Brain Candy by going to creativebraincandy.com. And if you want to be a podcaster, you know somebody who wants to be a podcaster, I promise you can't do much worse than Rob. creativebraincandy.com, click the apply button and let us know. And while you're there, check out Ice Forward March, a podcast from a couple of military guys that think they no, wait, that's our tagline.
Yeah, that's ours. That doesn't work there because they actually do know military. So
right, they actually know what the hell they're talking about. So if you're in the military, know somebody who is in the military, tell them to check out Ice Forward March. It's a funny, entertaining podcast that kind of gives those in the military some insight into what a couple of sergeants do, and then how they're preparing to maybe one day transition out of the military. Check them out. Eyes Forward March with Sergeant Bacon and Sergeant Seagar.
All right, Rob, you got any news for us this week?
Yeah, I do. So, first piece of news is a few years ago, we had Oumuamua come through space.
Yeah, we actually talked about that last week too.
No, we didn't, Jason.
Well, we did. It's just not on this show.
Well, no, it's going to be sometime in the future.
Right.
But it's relative news right now.
Why are you going to bore people twice with this?
Because I can, all right? Because I needed 3 news articles, and those are the 3 that I had. I can't help it if James can't just keep his mouth shut and not spoil whole thing I had going on.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's backwards. You would have been doing this backwards because what you spoiled it on, for those of you who are like completely lost, we do a Patreon exclusive show for those our Quabble supporters who throw us a couple of nickels every month. They get a special episode, and we just recorded the next one for them.
Yeah. And
Rob talked about, I'll just tell everybody, it's fine, because if you're interested, throw us a couple of nickels. You too can listen to Rob talk like it was just bad about aliens and UFOs.
Yeah, aliens and UFOs.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Oumuamua, which was a spaceship back in 2017.
Right.
It was a
I'd like to
spaceship
say
in
that it was
2017.
a well thought out and well presented argument that he gave, but I would be lying.
Yeah.
No, hey, I convinced you. In the first like 5 seconds.
You actually
in the first 5 seconds.
Rob, that UFOs are no longer, they're not, there's nothing special to them. That's what you convinced me.
I was going the other direction.
So here's the thing. You said in that, which is going to be released next month for our Quabble supporters.
Oumuamua was a spaceship in 2017. Yeah.
And then I brought up this article that you're about to bring up.
Right.
And you got mad at me because you're like, you just spoiled my whole joke. The problem is nobody would get that joke, number one, except the 2 people that are the Quabbles or the 3 or however many. Right. But here's
they're the only ones I care about because they give us money.
But here's the thing. When you brought that up, they would have been like, what? Wasn't it like a month ago when the dipshit said that it wasn't a spaceship?
That's true.
So it's not really a joke. It just would have made you look even worse than you already do.
That's so. I can live with that.
Of course you can.
Anyway,
all right, so I think we just spoiled it.
Yeah. So it's no longer a spaceship. They think it's a chunk of frozen nitrogen.
I read an article today that called it an Oreo in space.
An Oreo in space? How is it an Oreo?
That, yeah.
I looked at it.
It's creamy in the center.
I was going to send it to Rob, but I knew he'd fuck it up, so I was just like, screw it. I don't care. And I didn't even read the article. I was like, I don't care. I know that it's nitrogen, it's gas. Or ice. I don't give a shit. I'm out.
It's fine.
All right, Rob, what else you got?
Second one is, there has been rumors out there for a long time about getting John Krasinski and Emily Blunt to play Fantastic Four, right? Play Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman. Apparently, it's been reported that Emily Blunt has passed on being part of the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, so there isn't any rumor as to who they're going to try to get, but we'll see what happens. It's unfortunate because
why is that unfortunate?
Yeah, I think it would have been kind of cool.
I'm not a big Emily Blunt guy.
Okay.
Oh, you're not?
Would you give Jessica Alba another try?
Yes, 100%. Yes,
yeah.
I would.
Okay. Yeah, I think she did for what they gave her. I think she did fine.
Okay.
Shut up.
That movie was not good. And it wasn't
good.
just the script.
Weren't there two of them?
Yeah, there were.
Yes, there was.
Yeah, neither of them were good.
No.
They weren't good, but I thought she did fine.
No.
She's also my past.
She
by
did.
the
She
way.
was all right, but I mean, it just wasn't a good movie. She was fun to look at. She's always fun to look at.
Yeah, she's
Right.
my
Just-
hall pass.
Yeah. Wait, did you say she's your hall pass?
Yeah. She's been my hall pass for a while.
This is now the second podcast in as many weeks where I'm finding out who someone's hall pass is, and I guarantee you that Jessica Alba is just as disappointed that she's your hall pass as Tina Fey is at finding out that she's Tim's hall pass.
Okay.
Tina Fey is Tim's hall pass?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's a good hall pass, but both Tina Fey and now Jessica Alba
Are disappointed.
absolutely disappointed that they're like, really? You couldn't pick somebody else, fuckers?
Yeah.
What else you got, Rob?
All right. Last thing I got is, unless you've been living on a rock the last year and a half or so.
There's a pandemic.
Yeah. That and Zack Snyder's Justice League finally dropped.
Yes. Yes, it did.
So from everything I have heard, not only through websites, but it seemed like a play-by-play by Jason.
It was not a fucking play-by-play.
Oh, it
it
might as well
not.
have been.
It
No,
was funny.
no, but he was going through it, and you're like, okay, all right.
Yeah,
all
it was
right.
good. I enjoy it because it gives me a little bit of hope that this might actually be good. Now, I've read reviews where people are like, this is still shit.
No, yeah, but it's better shit.
Well, sure.
It's not shit.
I mean, which
But,
would you rather
yeah.
have? Cold shit on a paper plate or hot shit in like a goblet?
Yeah. So as of 4 days ago, which would have been like right when it released, the regular Justice League had a 40% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes, whereas the Zack Snyder version had a 71%.
Well, can't you look right now and see what it's at?
I guess I could,
I mean, research. Like, why didn't you do that before the show?
because you guys were forcing me to like go fast, and I wasn't ready, and you guys were. Like,
oh, there it is. You weren't ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He
It's
got
at
there eventually,
74.
didn't
It's at 74% now.
It's a
So it's
good
gone up
movie. I thought it
3%.
was very good. Now, it is a long movie. It's a little over 4 hours long. So,
Yeah, it's a marathon.
yeah.
Could you cut it out? Could you cut some things out to make it shorter and have
Yeah,
it still
you
be a
could, you
good
could
movie?
probably get it down to at least 3 and a
3 hours and
half.
45 minutes.
You could probably
So
get it
here's the
down
thing.
to at least 3.5, but I
Trim
don't
15
think
minutes
I don't think the 4 hours hurts it that much.
So here's the thing, right? So whoever decides one day to maybe possibly do a podcast about superhero movies, and perhaps maybe they might start with this one. I don't know. It's just complete conjecture on my part here. But if someone were to do that, I don't like. Here's the problem with this movie. The problem with this movie is that it's not going to go anywhere. It teases a sequel that will never happen.
Oh, I know. And it could have been so good.
Right. So the movie is essentially like the Snyder cut. Well, I'm glad on some level that he was able to, as an artist, get his art out there. It's frustrating as a fan to go, especially if it's better than the original, which I mean, honestly, it can't be fucking worse. If it's better than the original, as a fan to go, God damn, why can't Henry Cavill be Superman for a while? Why can't Batfleck be a thing for a while? God damn, why can't Gal Gadot just take her top off? God damn, why can't we get the sequel that we all deserve? I mean,
I missed something there.
it's just what did you miss?
Gal Gadot taking her top off?
Yeah, goddamn, why can't she take her top off? I don't think that's a lot to ask in a rated R movie, which the Snyder Cut's rated R.
It is rated R.
Yeah, I don't think that's a lot to ask.
Yeah,
So it's frustrating as a fan, isn't it?
It is, because we don't. It's frustrating as a fan that the executives at Warner Brothers got in the way because of the mediocre reviews that Batman versus Superman got. Now, Batman versus Superman wasn't a great movie, but it was okay. I think there were some compromises in terms of time and vision that Snyder had to make for that movie as well. And then whenever the reviews came in and Warner Brothers got cold feet due to them being dipshits and the AT&T merger going on at the same time, I think they decided to change their vision and try to emulate Marvel, which was a horrible choice because the comic book franchise that DC has brought about is a totally different type of comic than Marvel. I mean, these are different heroes. They have different motivations. They're different types of heroes. And so trying to emulate what Marvel was doing, I think was an idiotic choice. And we, the fans, got to suffer because of it.
Yeah, I don't disagree, especially in the middle of universe building, which is essentially what they were doing at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
They were you cannot make that kind of hard change. Now, while I didn't really like Batman versus Superman, I thought it was serviceable. I thought it was okay, much like Rob's podcasting. So there are things that obviously I can just look over and kind of ignore, a lot like Rob's podcasting, where I'm like, all right, well, I can continue on with this universe because hopefully it will get better. Now, Man of Steel, the first Superman movie, I don't give two shits what anybody says. I loved that fucking movie.
It was a good movie.
I thought that was a solid, great movie. The first Wonder Woman movie, fan-fucking-tastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Aquaman was good.
Aquaman was good.
Yeah. So, what Warner Brothers, I know you're not going to listen to us, probably because we associate with Rob. And if that's the case, just drop us an email, creativebraincandy.com. Let us know if that's the reason. We won't associate with him anymore. And let's work through this. Let's let Snyder continue with this vision, make him the Kevin Feige of DC, and let's get some quality movies going, okay? That's all I'm asking. If we have to sacrifice Rob for it, you know what? The world will be a better place.
All right, who's ready for a pod crawl?
I'm okay with that. I'll sacrifice myself.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Dr. Peter Venkman is a psychologist who deeply cares for his subjects and their well-being, making sure to give them the time and attention they need, especially if they are young and blonde. When he's roped into investigating a ghost sighting with his colleague Ray Stantz, who also drags along son of Bride of Frankenstein Egon Spengler, they encounter not the ravings of a hysterical assistant who saw a dust mote from the corner of her eye, but an actual novel phenomenon involving a non-corporeal apparition. In other words, they actually saw a ghost. But, like Rob seeing boobs for the first time, they don't know what to do with it. When they head back to their lab, they find out they've been evicted by the Board of Regents for not doing science very good, and are now out of gerbs. Peter convinces Ray that he doesn't really need the family farm, so let's leverage that puppy to the gills, and start up a paranormal investigation business based in a condemned firehouse driving around in a salvaged ambulance shooting things with nuclear-powered particle accelerators. You know, normal small business shit. After setup and advertising, and a grand meal of takeout Chinese, they are broke, and starting to lose hope. But Karma is enjoying seeing these guys flail about, and doesn't want the ride to end quite yet, so they get their first real paying gig, a haunting at a fancy Manhattan hotel. It seems there's a ghost going around terrorizing the buffets, and after Peter gets jizzed on by the little slime ball, they trap it in the ballroom after exacting maximum revenge on all the nice things. Meanwhile, Peter is pursuing Dana, a cellist who had some suicidal chicken egg, and a haunted refrigerator. She's hot, so Peter is giving her his special attention, and after gaining some notoriety by trapping apparitions just going about their lives and incarcerating them without due process, she agrees to meet him in her apartment one night, for research, of course. The guys are spread thin with the uptick in business, so they hire Winston Zeddemore to help them pick up the slack, and add an everyman element to the script. On date night, it seems Dana has changed. Her makeup will inspire the film Labyrinth, and she's acting like she's on a Molly Bender. Oh, she's also calling herself Soul, which also happens to be the name she heard coming from her fridge. This isn't really Peter's bag. He likes kinky, but hovering over the bed is a kink too far, so he roofies her and heads back to work. He gets there just as human penis wrinkle, and man who answers the question, what happens to cockroaches when they reincarnate, heck, is insisting the containment grid they jail all of their spirits in is shut down. Skippy from the electric company flips the switch to off, and a ghostgasm of ectoplasm sprays from the top of the firehouse. Peck gets the Ghostbusters arrested, and they are hauled into the mayor's office, since there is now a widespread specter riot happening in New York. Peter and Peck both make their cases to the mayor, who tells Peck to fuck off, and gives the Ghostbusters carte blanche to stop the end of the world. It seems the locus for all the weird shit going on is Dana's building, and she and one of her neighbors, whose leg was also humped by a dog, are basking in their post-coital glow and turn into hellhounds themselves. The Ghostbusters make it to the top of the Tower of Terror, where they meet the unholy love child of David Bowie and Jennifer Beals with pink eye, Gozer. Gozer tells them the world is doomed, but as a consolation prize, they get to decide how it's destroyed. They decide, nah, we don't want to play that game, but Ray, being a simpleton and Rob's grandfather, can't help but think of a marshmallow sailor. As the product of a wild night between the Michelin Man and the Doughboy rages through the streets of Manhattan, the guys light it on fire with their plasma guns. But it's not enough. Their only hope is to whip them out and write each other's name in the snow. So they aim at the gate to the nether realm, hold the tips real close, and explode with pent-up paraphysical energies. The top of the building is destroyed. Dana and her drug-fueled one-night stand are reverted back from dog form. Peck is doused with molten hot marshmallow, and roll the Ghostbusters being chased by either an angry mob or a grateful populace. Credits.
All right. So this is a cult classic, pop culture icon. I mean, this turned into a $1 billion franchise with a second movie, an animated series, and tons of merchandise. And it still holds up pretty well today. I mean, it's still funny. The clothes and the cars and the setting is definitely dated. The special effects are definitely showing their age, but I think the story holds up. I think the comedy holds up.
Yeah, I agree. I love watching this movie every chance I get. And so it was awesome for me to be able to make this a part of Status, because it is science fiction on several different levels, not the ghost level, that's real, but on the science of it. I thought it was I really like this movie. I've always liked this movie ever since I was a kid. And I'm really looking forward to Ghostbusters 2021.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. I'm really interested to see where they go with that. And we'll be covering that on this show whenever it comes out.
Yes. I was afraid we weren't, because I thought maybe we could consider these guys superheroes. I mean, they take on ghosts, for crying out loud.
Yeah, but they don't have like special powers that they use to take on ghosts.
I don't know. I would say that they have the power, to use their brains. A lot of people don't seem to have.
If that's a superpower now, then we're in trouble.
Well, I would think we are in trouble. Yes, sir, 100%.
Yeah. Hey, how does an orchestra player afford a corner penthouse in New York?
I think people in the New York Symphony Orchestra actually make pretty good money.
Enough to have a corner penthouse?
Well, this is also in the 80s too, so I don't think the prices have inflated or had inflated by that much back then. But
this is what, early mid 80s?
This was 1984, so early
almost
80s.
Mid 80s. Yeah. So I don't know. New York looked really clean compared to what I remember it looking like in other movies in the 70s and 80s. I didn't think the cleanup was until Giuliani took over in the 90s.
Yeah, I mean,
you only saw so many streets.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
All right, so looking up, doing some research on the fly. I'm trying to find some
research on a fly. Apparently,
yeah, search on the fly.
Trying to find the salary for instrumentalist on the New York Philharmonic.
What if she was first chair? I think that would make a big difference, right?
Probably.
She's first chair. I'm sure because it's world renowned, right? The New York Symphony.
I mean, you have to be the best of the best to be on the New York Philharmonic, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah, cream of the crop. Like not Rob.
Not Rob level.
Kazoo.
No.
Yeah, right.
Dude, I can play a kazoo like a motherfucker.
Not even Sergeant Bacon on a kazoo level. Like it's much higher level of proficiency to be. It's prestigious. It's prestigious. I think we could just say it's prestigious and move on. Why did we start off here?
I don't know why he started.
Because
there.
Rob asked
started
the
off
question.
here. Right. Well, of course. Rob.
Yeah.
I thought $5,000 was cheap to take care of a ghost and trap it.
All right. So the New York Philharmonic base pay in 2014-2015 was $141,113, according to, I don't know, some site called Penn Live. I think it's newspaper.
That's not enough to afford a penthouse, a corner penthouse.
Not
that's base pay.
Not a corner penthouse with a
okay. Well, if that's base pay,
that's base pay.
If that's base pay, but it's not like people knew. They didn't give us enough background to really go on.
Sure.
So even base pay, if you go mid-level, let's just say she's making double that. Let's just say she's making $300,000 a year. That's still not enough, even in mid-1980s, to afford a corner penthouse apartment that overlooks Central Park.
Maybe she inherited it.
That's probably, that I can get behind. 100% that I can get behind.
She could have inherited it, or maybe she comes from money.
Maybe she's got a sugar daddy.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'd like to think that she does. Oh my God, Sigourney Weaver's so hot in this movie.
Yes. Yes, she is.
There it is.
I don't think she's that hot in Alien.
I don't think she was meant to be.
Yeah.
She was kind of dirty in Alien.
In this one. I know, but not the kind of dirty I like. In this one, oh man.
But I mean, in Alien, they were space truckers. So, I mean, how hot is she going to be?
Dennis Hopper was a space trucker, sir. She was not a space trucker.
They were space truckers.
Don't ever make that comparison again. Space trucker is a national treasure.
It's not.
I'm just waiting for the next one that we do. What was it? What was the other one that you found outside of space truckers? I don't remember. There's another good one that Jason's looking forward to.
What the hell are you talking about?
I don't know.
Another movie that you had found that was that sounded better than
Do you ever get the feeling that Rob is having conversations with somebody else?
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I am.
I think he's got a few people in his head that he talks to.
Look, Dina's missing, okay? Diane's missing. Diana? Yeah, whatever.
The fuck are you talking about?
I don't know. Let's move on. I'm not stepping on that landmine, no.
Dana is missing. She is no longer here.
You didn't know her name was Dana?
Just Zool.
When did you watch this movie?
After my shot and before my fever.
Oh, so now he's blaming this on the fever.
He's blaming this on his COVID vax.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Moving on. No, Sigourney Weaver looked good in this movie. She looks good in the next one too. She's an art restoration person in the next one, right?
Yeah.
How do you pivot from?
Is she an art restoration person or is she dating an art restoration person?
No, she was dating the head of the museum where she was doing the art restoration.
Why the hell?
Or no. The guy that.
Yeah, no. Okay, so I did some research on the fly. She is a celloist in the first one. Cellist in the first one, and then she is working as a restorationist in the Manhattan Museum of Art.
How does one make that?
How do you pivot? How do you pivot?
Yeah, those are two really, really different skill sets. I mean, it's possible, I guess.
I guess. I don't know.
I feel like that's just lazy writing in the second one, which I'll be honest, the second one, while much better than the 2016 version, which I've never watched, because when any movie that starts with a queef joke I'm automatically out of.
Why?
Yeah, because that's just stupid. But the second
there's a
was
whole
bad.
South Park episode devoted to that kind of thinking.
I didn't watch that episode. It's just I'm past the point in my life where juvenile humor is funny to me, I guess. Maybe I'm just old and crotchety. I don't know, but I was immediately out of Ghostbusters 2016. I will never watch it. If it comes up on this show, if someone's like, let's watch that, I will immediately bow out of that episode.
I'm definitely changing my choice.
Well, you can change your choice all you want. I'm still not watching it. And you and Rob, you can podcast with Rob by yourself for an hour. Like, you have to ask yourself at this point, Jason, you have to ask yourself, is it worth it?
I got to get you to do that somehow.
Never happened. Good luck. Good luck. May the odds ever be in your favor. It's just not. That's not it. But the second one was worse than the first one. But the sequel lag, sequel fatigue, whatever you want to call it, in the 80s, that was a thing. And even for most of the 90s, the second one was never as good as the first one. And after the second one, the cast kind of went their own separate ways, and some of them had falling outs for a while. And did they ever make up before Ramis died?
Yeah. I think they got together and kind of buried the hatchet. I don't know, how much making up they did, but if memory serves, I think Ramis's daughter said that he and Bill Murray had talked and kind of made up before he died.
Good. This is the Ghostbusters movie. And I know that Bill Murray has been in other things that have been hilarious, but for me, this is the ultimate Bill Murray movie.
Oh, I think Groundhog Day is the ultimate Bill Murray movie.
That's just it. Groundhog Day, for me, it's so mainstream, and everybody loves that, and everybody knows that. And was it him, or was it the hot chick in Groundhog Day?
No, it was him.
Well, I don't know. The hot chick was pretty hot. It's because she's hotter than Sigourney Weaver.
No, she's not.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, 100%. You take that back.
No, I won't. Sigourney Weaver is not classically hot.
Well, I can see that.
She is. It takes an eye, like a keen eye, to say Sigourney Weaver is hot. She is hot. Make no mistake. If you don't think Sigourney Weaver is hot, there is something wrong with you. But the woman, and I don't remember her name. She was like the it actress for a while, and the one from Groundhog Day.
Yeah, her name is on the tip of my tongue.
Annie. So I think it's Anne.
I don't think you're right. No.
No, I think it is first name Anne.
Yeah.
I think he's right. And now I'm trying to, all I can think of is Anne Heche.
Oh, buddy.
What is it? Andy McDowell.
Andy McDowell.
Andy, not Annie.
Well, Andy. I was trying to think of the fucking name, Andy McDowell. I came up with it off the top of my head, no research, because that's how I roll. Anyway, I think she's hotter than Sigourney Weaver. But regardless, I still think that Bill Murray, this is Bill Murray's, like, his ultimate role. I think he's funnier in this than he was in Groundhog Day, and Groundhog Day was great. It was hilarious. But for me, Ghostbusters is it. This is the Bill Murray movie.
See, I think he was really funny in this. Don't get me wrong. And most of this movie was ad-libbed by not only him, but everybody else. In fact, that entire party scene from Rick Moranis's apartment, that was pretty much all ad-libbed by Rick Moranis. I mean, that just goes to show the genius of Rick Moranis, because that didn't seem like an ad-lib type thing that he was doing. That seemed scripted, but apparently he was just coming up with that off the fly. But I think Groundhog Day for me is a better Bill Murray movie. And I really like Scrooged. I think Bill Murray does a really good job in Scrooged too.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I like Scrooged a lot. But it's not something that I watch every Christmas.
Oh, I do.
Nor is Groundhog Day something I watch every Groundhog Day. This is not. But Ghostbusters,
maybe it should be.
Anytime I'm flipping through the channels, like when I used to flip through channels and it was on, I would stop and I would watch. Wouldn't matter where I was at. Didn't care about commercials. Didn't care about stupid pan and scan. Back in the day when pan and scan was a thing, I would watch the fucking movie because it's great. It's hilarious. It's one of the most quotable movies.
It is quotable
ever. Like, and it's just fantastic from beginning to end. I think the pacing was great because there's never a part in Ghostbusters where you're just like, oh, fuck, what are they doing now? It just rolls from one hit to the next, and there's always a one-liner, there's always a quip, and there's always something that gets you.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought it was, while it did move from thing to thing, I think it took a lot of liberties on what was plausible. You know, the whole penthouse.
It's a fucking
No, I know, no. But what I'm saying, you know, the whole orchestra player has the penthouse, and then they get canned from the university, and then miraculously they can make it big.
Movie about ghosts and paranormal bullshit.
Yeah,
you get hung up on the cellist making enough money to live in a fucking corner penthouse.
Yeah, and then the guys getting canned from the university, and then immediately making it big.
Rob,
more or less, because ghosts are real. You convinced me.
There are some things about
you convinced me. Take the win.
Understand.
Take the win, James. Take the win.
You know what? I'd rather just give it back to you.
No, you can have it. You can have it with all its sticky ectoplasm and everything.
Ectoplasm is a thing. That's the other thing about this movie is they took at the time in the 80s, nobody really knew. Like paranormal wasn't nearly as mainstream as it is today. Like you didn't have ghost hunters on television. You didn't have paranormal groups that where people were like, I'm in a paranormal group. If you said that in the 80s, you're like, really, guy? Like, shut the fuck up. But now today it's more mainstream. So then it wasn't, but they took actual stuff from that world, from that paranormal world that people had been looking into for hundreds of years. And they integrated it in a very comedic way. It's one of those movies where I was afraid today, because I haven't seen it in a few years, I'll be honest. I was afraid today when I watched it, I was going to be disappointed and like, this doesn't stand up and it's not good. But like, it just added to it. And there were things that I noticed in this movie I never noticed before. Did you guys catch the Stay Puft foreshadowing in the movie?
Yes.
A couple of times?
Whenever she was pulling out her groceries. Yeah.
No, there was one on the side of a building. In the middle of the movie, middle of the movie, there was on the side of a building. It was a faded Stay Puft marshmallow advertisement.
I didn't see that one. I saw the bag. I saw the bag.
Yeah, I saw the bag of marshmallows that she put out right before the eggs started cooking themselves.
Right. Yeah. So there was that, but then there was that. It wasn't a billboard. It was like somebody had, you know how they used to do on those old buildings? They just painted on a building and there's your billboard.
Right.
It was
right.
that. Yeah, it was that. It was just a little bit faded. Yeah,
so you mentioned you were worried about it, not holding up to what you remembered. I kind of had the other effect while I was watching this. It was like, oh my gosh, I remember this from back in the day. This is awesome. Like, especially like the music. I thought the music was great in it, and and the reason is because it reminds me of when I was a kid. I would listen to the Ghostbusters soundtrack on a record all the time at our house. And it was just every time those songs were coming up, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So some of the music I thought was good, but I think listening to it now, a lot of that music is hokey and 80s as shit.
It's still good.
There was one song about a hero, and I'm like, oh, this is like on the fucking nose. It was while they were driving to her building for the final showdown with Gozer the Gozerian.
Yeah.
There was like that music. I'm like, oh, really, guys? Like, you should just play the fucking Ghostbusters theme and been done with it. Why are we playing?
They were only allowed to play it twice, at the beginning and the end.
And here's the other thing. I think that in today's overly political, hypersensitive cancel culture climate that we live in, there is zero about this movie that people will want to cancel except maybe why someone's going to get my player award later. And then maybe they might want to cancel that, but I don't give a shit. It's hilarious.
Do you think this movie would be able to get made today though?
God, I hope so. Here's the thing. Comedy is supposed to be edgy. Comedy's supposed to...
Sure. It's supposed to push the boundaries.
Right. So everybody just fucking relax and realize it's a goddamn comedy.
I think this would be independent. If it got made, it would be an independent, an indie film. I don't think it would have been a mainstream.
Well, Stripes was before this, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So this came about because Stripes was semi-successful. What, didn't it? Because they were like, oh, you guys did... Because Stripes was the first movie they did after Saturday Night Live.
Dan Aykroyd originally wrote this movie based off of some like himself and his interest in the paranormal. And I think his grandfather, his grandmother was really into it as well. And then he got together with Reitman, and Reitman put him together with Ramis. And then he and Ramis totally rewrote the script and kind of grounded it because it was more outlandish than what we got on the screen. But I think so. Yeah, I think Caddyshack helped. Caddyshack came before this. That helped Stripes. Kind of launch Murray's career. And then Stripes, I think, was what kind of led to Murray's popularity on film. But what did Murray do? He did a few more films before this one. Because Murray was a pretty big name by the time.
So he did Meatballs.
Right, yep.
Tootsie, Stripes, and Caddyshack. Those were his big main ones that he did prior to Ghostbusters.
Yeah. I've seen Caddyshack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Meatballs is fun.
I haven't seen Meatballs.
There's no fucking way in hell Meatballs would ever get made today, though.
But isn't that I hate that. I hate that when someone looks at a movie that's objectively good that can't be made today because of the hypersensitive climate and cancel culture that we live in. I hate that. It's just supposed to be funny. It's not supposed to be a statement on anything. It's just funny. Like, everybody just needs to shut the fuck up and relax. There's not very much in this movie, though, Ghostbusters, that I don't think people would want to cancel.
No, probably not. I mean, nothing that I can think of, but fuck, who knows?
Yeah, I can't. I'm sitting here going, well, maybe the EPA guy, no. Maybe the mayor, no.
I mean, the EPA guy was just there as a one-dimensional asshole to kind of help move the plot along.
Oh, but it was so good.
Oh, it was good. Yeah. I mean,
I was waiting for you to introduce Rob as dickless, and then I was going to say, yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
Yeah. And one of the most iconic lines in this fucking movie is, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria,
yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I had totally forgotten that came from Ghostbusters.
There's a couple.
Because it's been a while that I've seen this movie.
Like, what did you do, Ray? Like, I say that all the time.
Yeah.
Ray, if somebody asks you if you're a god, you say yes. Yeah. Oh my God. Like, you walk in and you hit the piano a couple of times, like those two notes, you go, oh, they hate that. Like, there's just shit that I have done for years because of this movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It'll definitely go down in history as an all-time classic.
Let's show this prehistoric bitch how we do things downtown. Oh my God. Gozer was hot. Is anybody else on board with the Gozer's hot train?
Gozer was hot, yeah.
No. And I don't know how she jumped around with those fucking stilettos, but I'm glad she did.
She didn't have much of a career.
No, she didn't, but she was hot.
She was hot. Oh, I meant to look up to see who that co-ed was at the beginning of the movie, and I never did.
Oh, I wanted to know too, because she
looked familiar. So
she did. Oh, I was like, oh, she's a smoke show.
Jennifer Runyon.
Never heard of
who
her.
that is.
Jennifer, if you're out there.
Sounds like Funyun.
You were a fucking smoke show in the day.
She doesn't look like she had
so she could listen to this podcast.
Successful career. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Although she has made something recently, Gunfight at Silver Creek.
I might have to watch it, see if she's still a smoke show.
She did a lot of TV as guest appearances. Rob does.
And he can take a look for me on the old interwebs or his super secret porn browser.
Not seeing anything.
Oh, that's sad. Anyway,
she was on Another World, apparently. Quite a few episodes, 15 episodes of that. Maybe.
Another World, what is that?
That was a sitcom back in the early 80s. It was a spin-off of The Cosby Show, I think.
I remember. Is that the one with
Bonet?
Yeah. Lisa Monet?
Yeah.
Was it Monet or Bonet?
Monet.
Yeah. All right. I remember that show for like a hot minute because it came on after The Cosby Show. I'd watch it for 10 minutes. I'd go do something else.
Yeah.
Cosby Show was great.
Cosby
not
Show
so
was
much.
great. No, Cosby was
Yeah.
awful person.
He was a Venkman.
All right, James, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Is Ghostbusters, this 1984 parapsychic, paranormal, para-ghost story, sci-fi adjacent, or, well, I guess it is sci-fi. They did use science and scientific instruments. Is this more sci-fi than 11/22/63?
Before I answer that, I just want to make sure everybody heard Jason say that they did use scientific instruments, just like real paranormal investigators do today. Therefore, it is science. But let's just take a look and let's examine these two movies for just a hot minute. In 11/22/63, there was a closet that took you to the past. Maybe nobody did it though. Did you just fall down the closet, hit your head, and you dreamt it? I don't know. But there was just a closet in this movie. The refrigerator said, there is no Dana, only Zool. There's nuclear accelerators on their back. They had this nice little device, EPK meter, that would, you know what? Ghostbusters, more sci-fi than 11/22/63 by a fucking mile.
And didn't they reuse that EPK meter, if I'm remembering correctly, in like The Fifth Element? As a prop in The Fifth Element?
Maybe.
Was it The Fifth Element or was it another movie? I know that they used it in another movie. I want to say it was The Fifth Element.
Was it?
Yeah, and it's a movie that we've reviewed on this show because I brought it up at that point. I just can't remember what fucking movie it was.
What happens when you get old?
I know. We've done 152 of these fuckers. So,
Jesus.
PKE.
PKE. There you go. Whatever.
PKE
Whatever. PKE.
all right, Rob, you got a haiku for us this week?
You know it. This one's titled Locksmith. Zool the gatekeeper. I would be her keymaster. Who you gonna call?
Not
you.
Yeah, not you. That's for sure. Yeah.
All right, who's got awards?
Because Jessica Alba is certainly not calling you.
Mm-hmm.
So who's your hall pass, James?
I you know what? I don't have a hall pass because I'll just at any given moment I'll just be like you.
Me?
No, I would point at a random you. I would just point at the woman and go, you want to be my hall pass? All of them will say no, so it doesn't fucking matter. I don't need a hall pass. God damn. I watch a movie with my wife. It doesn't matter. Like, we'll be watching The Expanse because I'm going through that right now. We're in season 5, which is amazing. If you're not watching season 5 of The Expanse, you're just doing life wrong, Rob. And
working on it.
We're watching it, and some woman will come walking on, into the scene, and I'll be like, "Do I have to say it?" She's like, "No." That's right. She's fucking hot. So I don't have a hall pass. I just point out who all the hot women are. I don't want anybody to be disappointed that they're my hall pass, just like Jessica Alba and fucking Tina Fey. I don't want that. I wouldn't wish that on any woman. I will just creepily talk like this and say, "Oh, baby, call me." They'll never call me. I'm not afraid of them calling me because they never will. So there's no disappointment on their end, and there's no disappointment on my end. I think that's the chivalrous thing to do. I pronounced it right the second time.
So my black lung.
Yeah, Rob, who's got your black lung?
I just gave it to Ray. Just Ray in general. Because he always had a cigarette in his mouth.
Oh, I know. He even did that whole dried lip on the butt thing, and it hung down. Yeah.
I can't tell you back when I smoked cigarettes how many times I would try to do that. It never lasted nearly as long as it did in that scene.
Oh, I know. I don't know. Yeah, I could get it done, but it would fall off after a few seconds. So
yeah.
All right, James, who's got yours?
Yeah, I was gonna give it to Ray as well. Because he smoked they all smoked except Egon. In fact, that's who it's going to go to. It's going to go to everybody but Egon.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So mine's going to go to just the Ghostbusters.
Egon didn't smoke.
No, he didn't. But I mean, Ray and Winston and Peter all did. And what's her face? The receptionist did too. God, what is
Annie Potts? Oh, she's so hot.
Yeah, she was hot.
Oh, God.
What was her character's name?
Janine.
That's right, Janine. I just always think of her as Annie Potts off of Designing Women.
Yeah. Fun fact: she gets with Louis Tully in the second one.
Yeah, in second one. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is a.
Oh, that's right. I forgot all about that. That's right.
So hot.
Why would she do that?
I don't know. She could have had Egon, I think, because maybe Egon's just asexual.
Maybe
he's just like, he didn't seem too interested.
He's in love with science.
That sounds like a certain Jason.
What? Okay.
I'm just saying, like, you're more Egon out of anybody on this podcast. You're the egghead. You're the guy that knows a lot of stuff. You're very smart. You're even smarter in your own head. Like, like you are Egon. You are that guy.
Stop. You're going to give him a big head.
He's already got a big head.
You're making me blush. Stop.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Who's got your head lush, James?
Let's go to Venkman. Venkman immediately, he got fired. He didn't give a shit. He immediately started drinking. And that's the way to do it, kids. You get fired, you go drinking.
I don't think it was the getting fired that made him drink. I think he just likes to drink.
Maybe, but they didn't really explore that in the movie, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay. Rob?
I gave it to Slimer for guzzling the party booze.
Damn it. Yeah, that's who's got mine, too, because he was just downing all the wine. It was going right through him, too. He's a lightweight.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it just went right through him. He didn't actually drink at all.
He tried to, though.
Which
means he was probably an alcoholic when he was alive.
Well, obviously, did you see how swollen his face was?
Yeah.
Yeah. He looked a little jaundiced, too. Maybe some liver disease.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
A little green around the gills.
Yep. All right, Rob, who's got your player?
I gave my player to Zool for propositioning Venkman. She wanted him inside her.
Okay. James?
Yeah.
As foreshadowed earlier in the show, I'm getting mine to Peter Venkman for bringing 300 cc's of Thorazine to a date.
Yeah, you gotta wonder who does that.
Yep. I'm just saying.
And it's not like he had it in his car because he took the taxi back home afterwards.
The guy came prepared
for a good time.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go a different direction. Mine's going to Lewis as the keymaster for getting to bang the gatekeeper.
This would be, and you're not wrong. You're not wrong for that, Jason. But this would be akin to either Tina Fey and or Jessica Alba going, all right, fuck it, I'll be your hall pass.
You think they remembered?
No, I don't know.
Remember because they said what happened. Yeah.
Yeah, but didn't they have like a kind of an awkward meeting in the second movie?
Maybe
we don't.
I think so.
We don't talk about that yet.
Not to go to a place where, to get too graphic, but after you've had sex, you had sex.
Yeah, that's true.
So they would have had, even if they didn't remember, if they went, what happened? Like they would have been like,
well, no. See, it would have been fine because they turned into dogs and then turned back into themselves, so they were all nice and squeaky clean.
Smells like barbecue dog hair. Oh, sorry, Venkman. I love that James. Everybody was fucking covered in marshmallow. Except Peter.
Venkman. Yeah, you think that was Bill Murray saying, "No, I'm not getting covered up in this bullshit."
That was Bill. That was actually it was. I looked it up. That was Bill Murray going, "It's funnier if I have very little and everybody else is covered." And Aykroyd said, "You're right. Fucking douse me. Like just cover me and leave him with just like a dollop on his shoulder or whatever." And it worked. I thought that's probably one of the funniest things in the movie.
This movie's kind of dark because, Peck just got doused. I mean, just dumped on with liquid fucking marshmallow. And liquid fucking marshmallow is really fucking hot. Anybody who's like touched a marshmallow after they've recently roasted it.
That wasn't
I'm sure
liquid
it wasn't
marshmallow.
Like real liquid marshmallow. And
No,
he didn't-
I know it
wasn't
wasn't real liquid marshmallow. They're not going to burn an actor to death, but I mean,
that wasn't liquid.
know, that's
That
method
was
acting.
that was
You
the
never know.
Stay Puft losing his bowels when he got.
Gross.
that was Marshmallow
Fucking
Man shit.
gross.
Yeah.
Like regardless, it wasn't like he was screaming it's burning. Like, he
Well,
didn't-
they cut away pretty quick, didn't they?
Oh, they didn't want you to know.
Yeah. They didn't want you to see the aftermath of somebody just
Yeah.
getting roasted in marshmallow.
Well, the Ghostbusters were covered in sans Venkman. They were covered in marshmallow, and none of them were burnt alive.
Well, that was marshmallow bits.
Not only that, but
was
they-
explosion.
They
explosive
survived a
marshmallow.
giant fucking fireball of
Sinkhole?
an explosion that took
And
the
a
Oh, I
sinkhole.
know. And they walked away just barely singed. Yeah.
right. Like, yeah.
All right, James, who's got your purple hippo?
My purple hippo is going to go to Dana, because when you're possessed, I can only imagine, like, that's just that's a mind fuck. Like, if you are full on possessed by another spirit, is anything ever the same again? That's who it goes to.
Rob?
I'm giving mine to Winston because he's seen shit that will turn him white.
I forgot that line.
Yeah. And that line right there is why this cannot be made.
I don't think
Oh,
that's
I
true.
don't think so. I think that
I
one's
think-
fine.
Yeah, I think that's fine for him to say it.
Yeah, for him to say
The other way, to have a white person say it the other way,
Yeah.
probably not fine.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? All right, mine's gonna go to Lewis again, because he was chased through Central Park by one of the dog demons, and then they kind of cut away.
Why?
But you kind of imagine, can you imagine one of those dog demons humping your leg?
Wait,
What?
can
I
I
mean,
change? Can I
shouldn't-
change mine? I want to change mine to Vince Clortho, because he just seemed like he was out of it the whole time anyway. Are you the gatekeeper?
Yeah, he
I
did.
think he got
Talking-
dropped on his head one too many times.
Like talking to the fucking horse. Are you the gatekeeper? And Vince Clortho, the fucking keymaster. Like, he was gonna fuck the horse. I was like, what? Yeah, I change mine to Vince Clortho.
and why would the dog chase Lewis? Why didn't he just like?
Because he was the keymaster.
He was the keymaster.
Yeah, but why would?
Because
He was in the right spot in the building, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
They knew
So
what it
you had
felt
to
like
get you had to get prepped,
I
What
guess
did
so.
he say?
which
They
is
knew
really
what it-
funny that he was the keymaster, yet he kept locking himself out of his own apartment.
Yeah.
We're gonna play Twister.
I just got that.
Oh my god, that's awesome. No, what did he keep saying? Like, you said he ad-libbed most of his stuff, right?
Yeah.
It
So
was all
when-
about taxes. Yeah.
So when Egon was interviewing him and going, I don't think he's fully human. Like, we've got the keymaster here. And what did he say? He's like, who's Gozer the Gozerian? Who's Gozer the Destructor? And in the second one,
and then he
all of
started.
that was all.
I don't know about that. I know the part in his apartment party when he was talking about, buying that shit and getting it on sale and just good finances and all that stuff. Whenever he was talking to everybody,
That was all.
that was all ad libbed.
Whoever wrote those lines for him, where he was like, he took the form of a slorg, and they knew what it was like to burn in the belly of the depths of a slorg that day. I tell you that. Like, I was just, every time he does that, I'm losing it.
Well, and that may have been ad lib too. From what I understand, a lot of this fucking movie was just them riffing off of each other. There wasn't a whole lot of the written script in this movie.
Get her? That Ray? Get her? Really? Scientific, Ray. Like, this whole movie, I was laughing out loud. My wife, like, literally, she took our daughter to the park. She's like, I don't get it. We're going to the park. This movie's fucking hilarious. What is wrong with you? So good. So good.
All right, so next week is going to be Rob's choice. Rob, what are you making us watch?
Well, it's got to be sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
But it's It's gotta be my tastes.
Oh God.
So
Jesus Christ.
We don't do porn on this show, Rob.
Can we do the next best thing? Do you want me to read it out loud and let you guys try to guess?
Sure.
Let's do that. All right. A group of scientists try to track down. Oh, you suck. You didn't even let me get through it. Yes, we are watching 1995's Species.
Yeah, the film where a group of scientists try to track down and trap a killer alien seductress before she successfully mates with a human. So this is basically Rob's wet dream.
It is. It is. I'm excited for this in more ways than one.
Right. I'll be honest, I've never seen this movie.
Have you not?
You have never seen this?
Oh, man, you are so lucky.
Okay, make sure your daughter's not in the room, okay?
Obviously, I'll have to watch this. You're taking up valuable time where I could be watching something I would like to watch, Rob.
Hey, if your arm gets tired, just switch to the other hand. It's fine.
I can guarantee you, she's attractive. I'm not. Just no. It's basically
just think
horror.
of it this way.
This is basically science fiction horror.
It's action, horror, sci-fi, yeah. But think of it this way. There will be lots of pictures next week.
So
yeah, this week was dry, Rob. I'm a little disappointed.
I'm sorry.
This is an example of a shitty script that cannot be elevated by a stacked cast. So this movie has Sir Ben Kingsley, Michael Madsen, Alfred Molina, Forrest Whitaker.
Yep.
And it still
Marge
sucks.
Helgenberger.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
She was pretty popular with.
She was on CSI. Yeah,
CSI. Yeah.
Yeah. No. And this movie still sucks balls.
It's fine.
Who's the hot chick in the movie? Who's the antagonist?
Natasha Henstridge.
That's right. This movie put her on the map.
Right. And then
she dropped off the map.
Right.
I'm just telling you, Natasha Henstridge's boobs are not going to make this movie tolerable. They're just not.
You think you'll like it?
Is it full frontal?
Can be.
Oh my God.
Fuck. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to this. You know what? I gave you Ghostbusters, a fucking classic, a gem of a movie, and you give us this fucking turd sandwich. You're a douche.
You're welcome.
With that awful disappointment, we're done for this week. Our intro and outro music is Welcome Home by Cambo. Podcrawl music is Snack Mix by Machette. If you'd like the show, please rate and review us on iTunes. You can leave us feedback on our Discord channel at smokinganddrinkinginspace.com/Discord. On Twitter at status_podcast, or you can email us at smokinganddrinkinginspace@outlook.com. If you'd like to throw a few nickels our way, you can become a Patreon supporter by going to smokinganddrinkinginspace.com/Patreon and make sure to visit Creative Brain Candy for more great shows and other creative works at creativebraincandy.com. For this week, I'm Jason.
Hey, did you guys know that Carl Winslow was in this?
I'm also, I just want everyone to know I'm disappointed for both Jessica Alba and Tina Fey.
We'll talk to you next week.